Once I found my why, not only was my passion restored to levels that I'd never experienced before, but it put me on a trajectory that I couldn't have been on without it.
You have to find your why.
I'd lie and tell my friends I had no money at school. I'd tell them that, I didn't feel like eating because my mom didn't have the bucks so I could eat that day.
Rise and shine!
It's Entspresso time.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I am not a morning person, but if you start your day with a morning routine that inspires you, it will change your life. So let's start your day off right together. Grab your coffee, know that I believe in you, and get ready for a shot of Entspresso from Simon Sinek.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
So a lot of people think that this concept of why was some sort of academic exercise that I went out and studied it, and I didn't. That's not how it began. As you said, it began out of pain. I owned my own small business. It was a strategic marketing consultancy. And superficially, my life looked pretty good. I owned my own business. I made a decent living. We had incredible clients. We did incredible work. Except after a few years of doing that, I sort of lost my passion for it. I didn't want to wake up and do it again. And I was actually very embarrassed by that because there were people who had real problems like poor me, And so I kept it to myself. And I pretended, all of my energy went into pretending that I was more successful, happier, and more in control than I felt. And it wasn't until a friend of mine came to me and sort of expressed concern, like, you're different, is everything okay? And it wasn't until I had sort of that safety net of someone close by that I had the courage to sort of not only face the problem, but really confront it. And it was that was the birth of this concept of why. There was a confluence of events. And I realized that every single organization, including my own career, functioned on three levels: what I did, how I did it, and why I did it. I knew what I did. That was easy to explain. How I did it was also pretty good. I was good at explaining what made me different or special than others, but I couldn't tell you why I was doing it. And it was that missing piece that I became obsessed with. And once I found my why, not only was my passion restored to levels that I'd never experienced before, but it put me on a trajectory that I couldn't have been on without it. And I learned a lot of things from that experience, a lot.
Finding your why doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be something that you spend years meditating on or contemplating or journaling. It doesn't have to be something that you go and hire somebody and pay them thousands and thousands of dollars to figure out. Finding your why does not have to be hard, but it's one of the most important things that you do, because if you don't figure out what your why is, you will spend the rest of your life wandering in circles, knowing that you're capable of more and not actually getting to the core of what you were all about. So this is why I wrote Built to Serve. If you haven't picked up Built to Serve, it's a pretty affordable book that will walk you through the process. But as I was going through my tour last year in the US, it was the number one question that I kept getting over and over and over and over again is, what is my why? How do I find my purpose? How do I find my passion? One kind of variation of those things, right? How do I know what I'm supposed to be doing? Even if you don't pick up the book, let me break it down and make it super easy for you. Your purpose, your why, comes from your pain. Whatever you struggled the most with as a human being is the thing that you want to help other people with. I call it the book Built to Serve because you're built to serve. Because you want to serve. Because you want to wake up every day and you want to feel like today matters. I'm waking up today in the snow here in Toronto. Look at that snow. In the car, filming videos for you. And I feel like this video matters. I feel like the work that I do matters. And I'm gonna create some content today that's gonna go on YouTube and be cut up for Instagram and other channels. And I feel like it matters, even though I'm just by myself in this empty car, just making a video, right? I feel like it matters. And that's what we're all looking for. You wanna feel like what you do matters. You wanna feel like today counts. And too often, we feel like it doesn't. Too often you wake up and you think, nobody cares if I show up today. Nobody cares if I make a piece of content today, if I create a piece of art today, if I make a phone call today. Like, nobody cares. And that's the problem. That's why we stay stuck. That's why we don't get the momentum that we need. And so you want to feel like what you do matters. And what matters to you will come from helping other people who currently are who you used to be. So think about who you used to be and what you struggled with, right? Your purpose comes from your pain. Think about the most painful moment in your life, emotional pain. You felt the most worthless, rejected, just no value as a human being. For me, I'm going back to 19-year-old Evan. I'm 40 now, so it's 21 years ago. 19-year-old Evan who started his first business, wasn't making any money, was full of self-doubt, was trying to make it look like I was more successful than I was to my friends, to tell them I'm living the entrepreneur life and I'm grinding away. Meanwhile, I had no money, I was having no momentum, no results, and was really struggling, worried, frustrated, and just thought, how did I end up here? Where every place where I knew that I applied myself, I would get results and have success. And here I was applying myself like crazy and just nothing was happening, no results. Every day, day in, day out, working, just nothing seemed to be happening. And I was too embarrassed and ashamed to tell anybody around me. My business partners knew because they were they were in the company with me, but everybody else, my friends, the people around me, I was too embarrassed to tell them that I was struggling. That's the lowest of the low in the life of Evan Carmichael, especially when I decided to quit on my business partner for one day and woke up the next day and thought, I can't quit yet. But that one day was just the culmination of all the negative, all the frustration, it felt like it was just weighing down on me every day. Another day with no results. It just kept crushing me down. That was the worst moment in my life. That was the worst period of my life. And that's who I still make content for. That's who I'm making this video for. That's what I wake up every day and trying to help, because there's lots of people. There are millions of people right now who are 19-year-old Evan. And same thing for you. You came through a lot of pain and struggle. You're not where you want to be. You're not done growing. I'm not done growing either. I'm not where I want to be yet. That's part of the beauty of the human experience. We want to keep growing and keep learning, keep getting better. So you're not done growing and learning. But what we often fail to do is recognize, man, you've come a long way. You're not where you want to be, and we kind of get lost in that of, we think about what we want next and get frustrated with the lack of results, but you've come a long way compared to where you used to be. And just take a moment and think about that. Think about who you used to be, what you used to think, who you used to be surrounded by, what used to go through your mind. Look at where you are now. For a lot of you, you're an impossibility, right? The fact that you're here doing what you're doing is impossible to the person who you used to be. Past you, looking to present you, would say, there's no way I'm going to be that. And yet here you are, you made it, you're doing it. And so if you take a moment and recognize how much you've grown and how much you've learned and how much of a better person you are because of the years of work that you've put into yourself, and then go back to who you used to be, go back to that painful moment, go back to when you're crying in the bedroom or crying in the car or feel, like a loser, or maybe even at the edge of trying to commit suicide for a number of people who I've met. Think back to the most painful moment for you. Recognize how much you've grown and learned, and then recognize that there are millions of people who are like that right now. There are millions of people right now who are struggling with the thing that you struggled with, and they would see you as an inspiration, as a beacon of hope, as an example of what is possible. Even again, if you feel like you haven't done that much yet, you have compared to who you used to be. And that's your why. Helping people like that is your why. Helping people who currently are who you used to be is your why. It's your purpose. It's something that will never get old. I'm 21 years later, still loving it. 21 years later, still loving it. Thousands of videos later, 7,000, 8,000 videos across my channels. I don't know. It's crazy number of videos. And I still love it. And it still drives me. And it still gives me energy every day. And not every day is perfect, but it drives me every day, where I'm waking up 11 years later after starting my YouTube channel, and I'm still excited to go make a video for you guys, because I'm still talking to 19-year-old Evan. And I think everybody can find it. I'm not super special. I think you've got that inside you too. You can find it. You've been through pain. You've been through struggle. You've been through suffering. You've got your story. Otherwise, you wouldn't be where you are right now. And people will be inspired by that. And helping get that story out there And when you've got somebody in front of you who you see gets a result, when you can talk to somebody who is who you used to be and you see them light up, when you see the hope in their eyes, or you see the comments that they leave and knowing that the work you're doing matters is important, that will continue to fuel you. That will continue to drive you. We're never taught how to find our why, right? We're not really taught in school or our parents how to find our why. And mostly I think it's because chances are your parents don't know what their why is either. You know, the people around you don't know what their why is either. And that's part of the mission that I'm on. I want people to find it. I think you've got that Michael Jordan level genius at something. I think you want to serve. I think you've got greater capabilities than what's inside you right now. I think you know that. I think you know that you could do more than what you're doing right now. And you can be bigger and you can have more money, more income, a bigger business, but not for the ego, to serve, to help, to change people's lives. I know that you feel that. And so the path is through finding your why. And your why is your purpose, and your purpose comes from your pain. So that's a quick summary, it's a quick overview. Built to Serve goes through a lot more detail, but finding your why is one of the most important exercises I think you can ever do as a human. If you feel like you're capable of more, and that this is not where you want to end up, you have to find your why. Now I've got a special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy, but before that, it's time for the question of the day. I wanna know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video, and what is your specific plan of action for the next week? When you just watch a video and get motivated by it, you have a 35% chance of following through. But when you get motivated and then create a specific plan of action, you have a 91% chance of following through. That's what we do here, Believe Nation. We get motivated, but then we do something about it. And when you commit to other people, you increase your chances even further of following through. So, what was your biggest takeaway from this video? And then what is your plan of action around it for this week? Put it down in the comments below, because I want to celebrate you. Also, if you want to have more self-belief and more self-confidence, I've created a special free program where every day for the next 254 days, I will send you an unlisted video to help you boost your self-belief and self-confidence. The link to join for free is in the description below.
Some people see the thing that they want, and some people see the thing that prevents them from getting the thing that they want.
I would rather take the risk of walking out, knowing that I might get moved in a way that I've never experienced before, more than just go and have a nice night out and see something that I know is good.
But I'm interested in your opinion. Let's go around the room. It's too late.
The only reason you think about money is because there's not enough flowing into your life. Because when money flows into your life, you get to be your best you. And the only reason I'm sharing that is because so many people have this deep-seated fear of making extra money. Listen, if you can cut a check for a problem, you don't have that damn problem anymore. You worry about your kids, if you can cut a check, worrying about credit card bills, worrying about your business, worrying about your parents. If you can cut a check for that problem, does it solve the problem? We still have to work on us. It doesn't fix us, but it solves a lot of problems. So when I ask you why you want to make more money, why you want to diversify, why you want to have a new stream of income, I just want to give you this little example. I hired a consultant to help me be better with my students, get more people engaged to take action. He said to me, he sits down for 2 minutes, he goes, well, did you ever teach them the 7 levels deep of why they're doing it? I said, no, but if it helps them, give it to me. He's like, no, you have to go through it, or else I won't give it to you. I said, fine, I'll go through it. So the whole thing is, I'm going to wrap this up quick, is whatever answer you said when I said, why do you want to make more money? Ask the same question again with that answer. So my first answer was, I want to have an incredible company that changes the world while I make great money and can help other people. That was my first answer. Sounds noble, right? Sounds like that's all from the brain. That's solid. That's who we are. We got this company. We're going to change the world. But then he said to me, Dean, why is that important for you? With my answer, why is it important for you to have a solid business, to help change lives, to make the money? And I gave another message from my head of, well, I want to set the standard in my industry and get rid of all the crap. And I did about 4 or 5 answers. So I want you to do this tonight. Go through this 7 times. But what happens around the 4th time you ask yourself that question, you flop from your head to your heart. So I got to the 3rd one, and I said, I never want to go backwards. Don't even know where it came from. You know, as a kid, we were broke as crap. I mean, I wore hand-me-downs. I got dropped off far from school so the kids wouldn't make fun of my mom's junky car. I was homeless at one point with my parents. We had no place to go. I'd lie and tell my friends I had no money at school. I'd tell them that, you know, I didn't feel like eating because my mom didn't have the bucks so I could eat that day. Now, it's not poor me. That shaped me. I love every bit of it. But I hated it, and I realized I didn't want to go backwards. I said, that's it. And he said to me, no, Dean, we're not done. It's 7 levels deep, not 5. So why don't you want to go backwards? And it just hit me. And I remember I got emotional. I got goosebumps. I said, I never want my kids to experience what I went through. I don't want to raise entitled kids, but I want them to have options. I'm like, that's it. I'm done. And he's like, no, there's one more. I'm like, what there could be? And it just hit me. I said, I want to be in control of my life. My parents got married 5 times each. If you're military or you moved a lot, you know what it's like. Every time you have friends, family, new school, you got to move. I moved 20 times by the time I was 19. And I just realized at that very moment, I wanted to be in control of my life. I wanted to dress the way I want. I wanted to do the work I wanted to work. I wanted to raise my kids the way I wanted. No one was going to tell me what to do in my adult life, and that was my why. If you're having a tough day, your business is kicking your ass, and you just think you want emotional or financial support or financial freedom, it's not enough to get through a tough day. But when you know your true why, I went on stage for years doing this week after week, and I had a woman come up. A woman yesterday said she wanted to make money to travel the world. It reminded me of a woman came up. Her first why was, I want to travel the world. After 7 levels deep, she got to number 1. You know what she said? She goes, my physically abusive husband left me 2 years ago. On the way out the door, he said, you're a pathetic loser. You'll never amount to anything. And she goes, I'm going to show him wrong. Screw him. That was her why. Is that a stronger why than just wanting to travel the world? I had another guy stand up and he said, I want to change the youth in my neighborhood. There's not a lot of dads, no support. I want to create this company. I've already started making money. I'm going to take it to a next level. What a strong why coming from his head. You know what his number 1 was? That his mom died before she knew that she set a good example, and he showed her he was a loser while she was alive, and he was going to show her he was a winner in her death. Is that an incredible why?
If you want another awesome video from Simon Sinek, check it out right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
People would come up to me and say, how are you going to do another TED Talk as successful as the first one? And the answer was, I'm not.